Is this thing on? Hey, what's going on, you guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 10 things that you need to start your own home studio. Alright, so the first thing you guys are going to need is a computer. It does not matter what kind of computer you get, whether a Mac or a Windows. It's totally preference. My preference is a Mac. Doesn't matter which one you choose. Whatever works best for you, whatever you feel most comfortable using, I say go for that. If you already have a computer, most likely you'll be able to use that one. So I say stick to that one. If you want to use a software like Logic Pro, that only exists on Mac, so you kind of have no choice but to get a Mac in that case. But if it doesn't matter which program you're going to use, just use whatever computer you have. Back in the days, programs like FL Studio only existed on Windows. Luckily nowadays, it exists on Mac, which is what I use. I use FL Studio on my MacBook Pro to make my beats. Number 2, you're going to need an audio interface. Now, what is an audio interface? It's basically a device, an interface, that you use to connect all your microphones, your speakers to your computer. There are very expensive audio interfaces. There are also very cheap ones. Number 3, you're going to need a DAW, or a digital audio workstation. A DAW is basically the program that you're going to be using to record your vocals, to make your beats, whatever it is that you're using your studio for. Nowadays, you have a whole bunch of different DAWs. You have DAWs like Pro Tools, Logic, FL Studio, Cubase, Ableton, GarageBand, Logic, if I haven't mentioned it already. You may be asking yourself, well, Skylo, which DAW should I use? Well, it's total preference. Me personally, for producing, I use FL Studio. But when it comes to recording, editing, mixing, mastering, I use Pro Tools. Number 4, you're going to need a microphone. Now, there are different types of microphones. You have dynamic microphones, you have condenser microphones. I would probably go with a condenser microphone. They can be a little more expensive, but you're going to get a much better sound. Condenser microphones are generally more sensitive to signal, so ideally you'd want to use a condenser microphone inside a studio because you can get a much bigger, more natural tone. When it comes to microphones, it's such a big topic. I can literally make another video just on microphones. So if you guys want me to make a video on the details of microphones, like small diaphragm, large diaphragm, different polar patterns, leave a comment below and I'll make that happen for you guys. Number 5, you're gonna need a pair of monitors. These monitors you'll connect to the back of your audio interface. Now, having monitors isn't a necessity because you have the speakers of your laptop or your computer, but let's be honest, those speakers are no good. So if you're going to be mixing, especially if you're going to be mixing, you're going to want some decent speakers that you can hear back the information in your music correctly. Number 6, you're going to need cables. So you're going to need different types of cables. You're going to need cables for your microphone, and you're going to need cables, at least 2 cables, for your pair of monitors. For your microphone, you're going to want to use an XLR cable. Don't use a USB mic. This sounds going to be horrible. I don't recommend it. XLR cables are the best cables for microphones. Don't use no USB, none of that. You're also going to need monitor cables or 1/4-inch cables. There are 2 different types of 1/4-inch cables. You have unbalanced cables and you have balanced cables. You're going to want to use balanced cables because it provides a signal that reduces unwanted noise, giving you a sound with less interference, which is important for monitoring. Now, how do you know which cable is balanced or unbalanced? An unbalanced cable will have 1 black ring, while a balanced cable will have 2 black rings. Number 7, you're going to need headphones. Now, if you're going to be recording yourself or just mixing and mastering and you're going to be working on your own in your studio, then you can get by with just 1 pair of headphones. But if you're going to be recording other people, I highly recommend you get 2 headphones. 1 for the other artist and 1 for yourself. Now, if you're going to be getting 2 pairs of headphones, I highly recommend that you get 1 closed back headphones and the other one open back headphones. Closed back headphones are usually the best for the artist just because it won't allow any of the sound or the music to bleed into the microphone. And trust me, you don't want that. Makes life so much harder when it comes to editing and mixing. And open back headphones are much better for mixing. They provide a more accurate frequency balance. As opposed to closed headphones, they have a buildup in the low frequencies, which is not good for when it comes to mixing, because when you're mixing, you're gonna want to hear your frequency balance as flat as possible so you can make the right decisions. Number 8, you're gonna need a mic stand. So I don't really think you're gonna wanna be recording holding a mic like this. Although some people may do it, I don't recommend it. The mic stand, I don't really think it matters. You can get any mic stand. Just make sure you get a shock mount for your microphone. This will help avoid any accidental rumble that may happen by you stepping on the floor. I guess a shock mount was number 9. I guess we had 11 items. Whoops. Trust me, you want a shock mount. Number 10, you're gonna need a pop filter. A pop filter is used to put in front of a microphone so no plosives get through to your microphone, like your P's and your S's and your T's. It will help control that a lot. I remember when I didn't have a pop filter and I had to get by with what I had a very interesting way of creating my own pop filter. If you guys want me to make a video on how I used to do that, leave a comment below and I will make that also happen for you. And I promise you, it'll look ridiculous, but it worked. A little bit of advice from me. If you're gonna get a pop filter, go with the metal one. You'll thank me later. And last but not least, number 11, a MIDI keyboard. Now, I know you may be thinking, you don't really need a MIDI keyboard. And yes, that is true. You can get by without that because you can literally just use a keyboard on your computer. Or if you're in FL Studio and any other of these programs, you can literally draw in your notes when you're producing. But life is so much easier when you have a MIDI keyboard, I promise you. Now, you have different size keyboards. You have 25 key, you have a 61 key, you have 88. There's so many different sizes, so many different brands. So this is totally up to you and totally your preference, whether you like fully weighted keys, semi-weighted keys. It's totally up to you. So I cannot really tell you what to get there. I can just tell you that life will be easier if you do get a MIDI keyboard. I promise you. If you do get a MIDI keyboard, make sure that it has a USB port because you're going to need that to connect it to your computer. If not, you might as well not even get one. Well, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Hopefully now you guys can go ahead and start up your own studios. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.